Oscar Levant, an American pianist, close collaborator with George Gershwin, wrote an autobiography with the title A Smattering of Ignorance. And I'd just like to borrow this title to speak about psychoactive substances in relation to spiritual awakening. And I have to say that really I've tried to inform myself and to gain some information and speaking and listening with people, especially listening to people who've had this experience. And I'm probably late on the second topic, but anyway, I'm going to post it, and for whatever it's worth. But I'm grateful for the observations of people who've had some experience, but also the experience of not using psychoactive substances. I think there's a good point there, the distinction between that which is a natural fruit of our planet, what grows in the soil of the earth, is one thing, and what comes out of laboratories is another. And so I think that we have a point that we can examine here. My only suggestion is that my ignorance of direct experience of substances like LSD and whatnot is not an advantage. I don't think it's an advantage. Obviously, if there are negative health results from the use of artificial substances, I would regret that, and because I like to be healthy and I want everyone to be healthy. So for me, that's most important. We start with our bodies, really, and our consciousness should awaken within, our bodies. And so mens sana in corpore sano, the Romans used to say, a healthy mind in a healthy body. And so let's consider this, to be in harmony with nature, in harmony with the things that grow physically and then mentally and spiritually, because there's no spirituality of our head in the clouds. Our feet are on the earth, and then we can look up to the heavens. And we can look beyond the beautiful biosphere of which we are part. That's also a spiritual awakening that is coming about today. We are looking beyond, and some people feel that they have real contact with sentient beings and intelligent beings that are beyond our physical planet or even beyond our plane of existence. I have somewhat of an experience in this area, in the area of the paranormal, and perhaps also in the, how can I put it, the extraterrestrial theme, something that has always been there in my childhood, from childhood on. So whatever it means, I leave it at that. But with the substances that grow naturally, the effect takes place because they stimulate the secretion of natural hormones in the body. In other words, we have these substances that are produced by the body itself. Before going to bed, I take a little melatonin. It is helpful. It helps me to get to sleep. And of course, melatonin is produced by the body. It's produced when we do go to sleep. And to increase this with an extract of a substance that occurs naturally in the body is helpful in some cases when there's a little difficulty in getting to sleep. It also it's an antioxidant and has other benefits. I might mention in parentheses that I did take MDMA, sometimes the recreational drug equivalent, which is, I think, a mixed product, is called ecstasy. But I took this when it was still legal with a professional psychologist as a sitter, so I was safe. And but it was, these are empathogen. This was an empathogen, and it was very helpful. to me in that moment of my life. But it's not something that I wanted to stay with permanently, and so just a few sittings were quite enough for me as part of a self-examination and so forth. So that's one way of a use which is limited to a specific time frame, a specific set and setting, with a sitter who is well qualified. That's a kind of experience that might be an occasional experience or a moment of self-reinterpretation and examination. But finally, what I would like to suggest is that all of these substances that do alter our consciousness, that are generated within our body, within our brains, are also enhanced and stimulated and produced and increased by the aesthetic experience, that is, contemplation of the beauty in art and in nature, and then also in meditation, spiritual practice, the simple practice of gratefulness as a meditative practice. That is teaching of Brother David Steindl-Rast, whom I mentioned on my last video in my own channel, and Thomas Mattis. And then it's also something that is developing as a medium of realization of our unity coming from different spiritual paths. Where we can converge is on this inner disposition to give thanks for all things at all times. And that is difficult. When clouds cover the light, when pain drives away the delight of living and the well-being of the body. I don't say that pain and suffering are not real. They are very real. I think that I've had enough in my life, mental and physical suffering, that is sufficient for me to empathize, certainly, with people who undergo suffering. And yet I've also known people who are able to give thanks in all things, and how it transforms their consciousness. The simple inner disposition, not a simple act of say, okay, I'm grateful for whatever there is to be grateful for. You could say this once, but then it's this, there's a prayer that concludes semper in gratiarum actione maneamus. May we always remain in the giving of thanks as a constant inner disposition. And then other practices, more in detail, I practice a form of Kriya Yoga, a form of Kundalini Yoga, if you wish, every day. And certainly it has altered my consciousness. It has altered my body. I've just had my 70th birthday, and well, here I am, and I feel good and enjoying good health. And thank you. Thank you, I say to my body, I say to the universe, I say to God. And so my suggestion is that the question of psychoactive substances should not be separated from other practices and other means whereby our awareness is elevated and our consciousness is expanded and we are spiritually developed, especially the arts. I'm thinking in terms of that which, people, not everyone can practice Kundalini Yoga or do Zen sitting for hours in a day, but everyone can learn the practice of gratefulness, and everyone can learn to appreciate beauty. And beauty strikes a deep chord in our life. Just go and look at a beautiful painting or a beautiful sunset, or listen to the Symphony of the Birds or the Symphony of Psalms. Stravinsky, one of my favorites. Okay, be happy and grow and expand by the best means that you have available to yourself.